Hello. Turn that down some. Get louder. Okay. Hi. I'm Divine High Priest. And I got a message today. I heard it, and it's God saying, that a storm's coming. And for those who want to be rebellious and not get in line with God, it's going to hit, and it's going to hurt. But if you're in line with God and trying to do the right things, and trying to be a good soul, you can you don't have to get hit by that thing. But there's a whole lot of us that are not in alignment, and I know that we aren't. But we're in that time, guys. We've all had the ability to be saved, and now we have to live like God's children. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to come out here also, and listen. I was watching the news on there, and we've got floods and hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff hitting. And that's what he was saying. There are storms and stuff coming, and it looked pretty. I mean, like just yesterday, it was like pretty serious, all over the country. And it wasn't. I wasn't watching it for any place else on the earth. I was looking at this is in America, and I mean, check this out. Now I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I remember when I was a kid, and Russia were still keeping the Iron Curtain up, all that, But those of us who are old enough to know about that, maybe some of you aren't. Whenever World War II ended, America and Russia got together and decided, okay, this part of the world is y'all's, and this part of the world over here is ours. And pretty much we left them alone on their deal, and they left us alone. And the Iron Curtain went straight down the middle of Germany. They put up that big wall. And I mean, if you were on the east side of that wall, you couldn't get out. I mean, you'd see people who would defect if they could. You'd see people getting messed up trying to go across that wall. I mean, they made them stay in there. You know what I mean? They just weren't free. And of course, we didn't see people escaping on the west side because we were free. Then Mr. Reagan came along, and he took a lot of credit for that, but really and truly they were going to tear it down anyway. It was costing them way too much to try to keep the USSR open, and try to take, be in control of that. But it seems like people are, these governments are getting kind of crazy again, and it ain't good. Now, our president recently pretty much stole three, and that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it. He stole three ships full of oil. He have a right to do that. You know what I mean? Venezuela may be something. They you know that they're a sovereign country. Now he's trying to run it uh, like we're the running it. You know, we're in charge of the whole Western Hemisphere. You know, well, you know, I mean, whenever they took Noriega, that was really about the Panama Canal. But you have to understand that America more or less built that canal, and so we were entitled to keep that thing open. And of course there was a issue of the drug trade and stuff, you know. And those people use American money, you know. They don't have their own money. They're using dollar bills. Okay. So it gives us a little bit more leeway on that kind of a deal. He was pretty much a installed deal, you know, that we did that, and so did Russia, you know, back then. But on this deal, I mean, those three tankers full of oil were en route to China. Now I don't know how well you know history, but when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, they did it because they were attacking, you know, like they attacked the Chinese, okay, and you know they were expanding, trying to get out and expand the Japanese empire, and because they went into a country and decided they were just gonna, you know, expand over a sovereign nation. They American government said, well, okay, but then we're gonna cut you off oil. And being a country that didn't really have any oil, that puts them in a bind, you know. And so they sided up with Germany and declared war on us, and you know, did this preemptive attack on Pearl Harbor. That's why that came about, you know, because you know, when we are in trade with all these other countries, you know, that's foreign affairs. But you know, someone gets stupid, things like that happen. Okay, and what Mr. Trump did is just, I don't know, it seemed like very irresponsible. But aside from that, he's also going up there to Greenland, who really doesn't bother anybody. He's talking about how America needs that, so we're going to take that over. Well, just going to go right past Canada and just go up there and take Greenland. You see what I'm getting at here? That's not America. America has always been about democracy and freedom, and you don't just have to march in and take over someone's country or steal their oil and stuff like that. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but you know, there's a set of rules to play and try to keep the world at peace. You don't just go and do that, because he's being kind of wacko or something, you know. What does he help to accomplish by taking that oil? If I was China, I'd be kind of pissed, wouldn't you? Think about it. Anyway, I just, you know, I wanted to pass that on there like that, because that you know, I kind of watch that stuff, and I don't think anything good happened there. You know, they went out there and kidnapped a foreign president and his wife, and now they've got him in a jailhouse somewhere, awaiting some charges that I don't know, some kind of corruption or something. I don't know. But is that our place to go and? I don't know. Because if that were the case, then another country come in here and put Mr. Trump in jail in their country, because we know he's got some corruption going on. Understand? I don't know. Anyway, but let's just talk about godly things. I wanted to, people, let me show you how this works. We are all blessed with a little doodad in our brain. It's called the pineal gland. And when you go to your closet or wherever you go to pray, wherever your praying is, and you close your eyes and you bow your head, you activate that little thing up there. It's inside your head there. And it links you to the 5D or 4D, something. And that's how your prayers get to God. That's how you discuss things with God. If I had to say, what is spirituality, I'd say that's the way we that's how we pray to our Father in heaven, And I want you to think about that, because a lot of people don't understand this spiritual community. We in the spiritual community understand it, but it's not magic. But lately, and that's where I've been going through a lot of attacks on this stuff. But I've got family members, two or three of those, and old friends and whatnot, or acquaintances. There's some people I don't even know, because these people decided they wanted to steal a bunch of things from me, and go to slandering my name and whatnot, and it's making my life regular hell, But God's intervening on that, and I'd have to say to them, listen, y'all sure going to get hit with that storm, because you have no idea what you're doing. You're missing up there. You don't get to do that to God's anointed. There's a rule in the Bible that says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. And he means that. It's kind of like you don't go out on the street and shoot a cop. You know what I mean? You get twice as bad for doing that. You know what I mean? There are just some rules to life that that you're going to be in trouble for. And right now, that bunch is in trouble. And you know what? So be it. You got it coming. That's all I'm going to say about that. But when you pray, just I want you to understand that he actually put the things that we need to be able to talk to him. And why were we even made? I sat and thought about that, and it seems like to me he did it for he created us so that to have fellowship with him, to talk. And I'm not real great at praying or anything, but I don't pray enough. I ought to pray more, especially because I'm called like that. But I ain't never been a real big talker, you know what I mean? But I guess I ought to be, I mean, he says that's what my voice is for, So I reckon I have to. But but I'm not. Listen. I'm working on it. I'm getting around to it. But listen, if you're up to some no good or whatever, you're doing that. Listen. I'm not perfect. I'm not, and I'm not judging anybody. But if you're doing something that's causing harm or anything to somebody like that, stop, because I kind of got the impression that he was kind of getting agitated, and that's never wise. So agitate God. I mean, I've done it before, and I knew I should not have, So, so anyhow, so whatever, I don't know what it is that's got him up to say that the storm's coming and stuff. He's when he straightens it up, he gets it straightened up. Trust me, because he doesn't just do. If he said it, and then you start seeing storms, and you start seeing them today, go watch the news. I mean, what I saw one where the bottoms were falling out of the ground. I mean, like big old giant holes were just all of a sudden, boom, just, houses and buildings and all kinds of stuff. They're just dropping into the ground, because listen, when he says it's going to be, shit's going to happen, it's going to happen, but this time, it's for a reason. I don't know what's going on, but it's for a reason, okay? And so, now if you're doing what you ought to be doing and working for God and whatnot, you're probably not going to feel any of that. But if you're not, and you're just out there just running amok, look at that, okay? Just look at that. I'm looking at my life, and with all this carrying on with this spiritual attacks, and people do, and they do these spells and all this stuff. And believe me, if you had asked me 10 years ago if that shit was real, I'd have said no. I don't believe it is, but a lot of times it's not as bad as. It might just be a big projection or whatever, and not really real. But I have seen in my life now that when some of those attacks, they are real, and that it does something to the energy, and energy has a way of bending or whatever, and making things happen. So and anybody who's is highly gifted, like what I mean, if they're a healer or whatever, then they'll tell you, yeah, that stuff's real. And I think somebody that's telling me today that some government is actually going to write laws about it because it's they do crimes against people, and witchcraft was real. I mean, there was now I'm not saying witches are bad, because there's the Wicca religion, they're about Mother Earth and healing the earth and whatnot, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here, is to heal the earth. And in my lineage there are witches, but they weren't out doing bad things. What these family members I'm talking about are doing bad things. They're using it to do bad. When you take gifts from God, spiritual gifts, then you don't want to be using those for bad things. You want to use them, hey, listen, if you're a healer, then use them for that, or, to heal the earth. I mean, we can do that, I mean, when he put us on this earth, he gave us some gifts to be able to be as stewards of this earth, and some of those things that those witches do, those Wicca religion ladies or men, whatever, they know how to heal people or and they use it for growing crops or whatever, or for their I call it when you finish growing crops, you get your I don't know the word right now. I can't think of the word, but anyway. But they use it for that stuff. I'm guessing. You know what I mean? They would use it for. I guess a husband and wife get together. They use it for that. Their love life, whatever. I mean, you see where things are. I don't do that, but I hear all these things that they're trying to do this come to me spells and whatever. Hey man, I don't do anything. I would never do anything, any kind of magic that takes away someone's free will. I mean, you can't go around doing spells on people and make them fall in love with you, and that's taking away someone's free will. That didn't happen naturally. I mean, that's the way I see it. And believe me, if someone's meant to be with you, it'll happen. So, anyway, I wanted to get that word out here because I'm late. I mean, I've been going through this stuff, and really, I mean, I kind of got depressed, and it was kind of, I didn't want to mess with it because, I shouldn't be that way, but there are times when some of that stuff gets pretty heavy. I mean, so anyway, I'm gonna cut this off now, and I'm gonna put it out there so people could know that's a real warning. Okay, it really is. So let's love our neighbors and love God, and let's try not to piss him off, because he ain't trying to piss us off. He really isn't. But I mean, if he's a father, he can teach us. You know what I mean? So let's learn fast, because really, with some of the idiots running our countries and stuff like this, we sure don't need God to be mad. Anyway, but all this corruption and stuff going on, and you believe it not too far down the road when that stuff's going to be starting to be dealt with, because I have a plan. Not a big plan. It's not to take over the world or anything. It's just trying to get people to love each other and be kind to each other. And it's all this doing this weird stuff against people. It just ain't right. And it's easier to love somebody than to hate somebody. It takes a lot more energy out of you to go hating on somebody when just assume treat them with a little love, or like them, or be cool with them. You know what I mean? However you want to call it. I mean, you ain't got to fall in love with them or anything. You just gotta treat people. I mean, I have an ex that I really didn't get that she had really ever been treated all that good. But I treated her good. I mean, I treated her with respect and love. Why she left and did the way she did, I'll never understand it. But right now, I know she's kind of hurting for that now. We learn our lessons in life, and if you just learn it now, learn it to treat everybody with respect and dignity and a little love. Put a little love in it. Everybody needs a little bit of that. I mean, I mean, I ain't never had a whole bunch of it, but it's good to have. It's nice to have. You know, I sure wouldn't complain about it if I had it. You know what I mean? And I reckon most people, even the Grinch, liked it. How hard that drove. Remember, they come down and they started those Who reels people, you know, was just singing and loving him, and even though he'd done a bad thing to him, his whole heart just started growing a little bit. Remember that? I don't know for those that saw the Grinch Stole Christmas. Anyway, I felt sorry for that dog. You know, sticking a brains on his head, and you know, having to pull that sleigh. Boy, poor guy. Anyway, y'all, it's late, and I just want to say, God bless you all, and Father, I put it out there so, and put a little bit of your magic on it. Maybe we can sway you from getting too angry with us. You know what I mean? I pray it anyway. So, and everybody, God bless you all, and have a good night. And love somebody tomorrow, okay? All right.